Welcome to the Lesser Known People podcast. I'm Jay Money. I'm here with KY Jelly, Conman, Big Cat, and Sean.
I do have, I thought up a nickname for Sean, and I think based on, and this is a little self-congratulatory, but based on the joke that I made that he is a sheet of carpet, that Sean should be the magic carpet ride.
That makes sense because he's so fucking hairy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey,
also,
I myself, all right, and my back is hairless right now.
but
I might.
You did that yourself?
Yes.
Dude,
good for you.
you are
How would you do it?
Monkey arms and shit.
Dude, years of practice.
I've been doing it for at least 10. Like, that's a decade of practice right there.
How many razors did you go through?
I have an electric. Thank you.
How many of those did you go through?
Maker's Custom.
When you haven't shaved it in like a month or 2 or 3 and you shave it, your shirt now actually touches your skin again on your back. It's a new sensation.
how does that feel? How does that feel?
It feels free, you know?
Mm.
At the same time, I don't like how much it's touching me. I feel a little bit strangled right now. That feeling of shirt material touching my skin right there.
It's been a long time since you've had material on the body then, right? Is that what I'm gathering? Yeah.
Now,
At
Sean,
least since he was 8 years old.
yeah, absolutely. Sean, we know that you grow hair all the way up the shaft of your penis. Is this like when you shave your penis for the first time?
Similar to, but I've been doing this one for 10 years. Penis, in my entire life.
Sean's cock just looks like a mushroom growing out of a tuft of pubic hair.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm a grower, not a shower. All right.
We do need to probably foremention that Sean has lasers with a really great rendition of Tiger King with one of the tigers as his background. He looks like he's hanging out with them. It's pretty cool. I'm very envious.
So the tiger is actually Sean's cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Joe's out cutting it.
And the Tiger King hanging off it is the herpy.
Yes.
I thought it was the skin tag. It was just kind of flopping out there, catching some breeze.
What I do know is that it ain't no wizard sleeve. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Let's not make I don't want to make this about me. Okay. Anyways, we have a story to tell. Can we be professional, please?
That's right.
Okay, guys. This has become like a really small obsession of mine for the past week, where I've been like, so anyways, I'll tell you the name of this thing. This is called the Max Headroom signal hijacking, also referred to as the Max Headroom signal intrusion, which sounds a little bit rapier, which is why I like that version better.
Okay.
So this story actually has like a lot of long, deep rabbit holes. Max Headroom signal intrusion. This took place 1987. So November 1987, KY and I were 2 months old. I don't know where the rest of you guys were at, but overview is in two local channels in Chicago were hijacked by a man wearing a Max Headroom mask. And the first time it was hijacked was on WGN's station out of Chicago during a sports broadcast. Now it's a little bit confusing because it's called the Max Headroom signal hijacking. So it leaves you to question who Max Headroom is, right? And that's kind of the first. Do any of you guys know who Max Headroom is?
No.
I've actually heard this story before, but I don't know who he is.
Yeah, so this is like right up Connor's alley, by the way. Yeah. This is about like some dude hacking into a radio or a TV station. Anyway, so Max Headroom was real popular in '85. He was supposed to be the first virtual TV personality, and he was yeah. So, but he wasn't virtual, right? He was just a guy with like bad prosthetics.
Yeah.
And if you look him up, he's creepy, right? So he looks like, if Dolph Lundgren was a Toy Story character, this is what this fucking dude looked like.
I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, I lost this in a game of trivia one time. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Justin. Jay Money told me about this, and I I think he looks like if Johnny Bravo and the original Duke Nukem had a kid, and then it was made out of styrofoam, and somebody got it wet. That's what he looks
Yeah. Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. He looked terrible and was not a good TV host either. He was kind of any of the stuff.
Yeah, he was bad. So he had this electronically altered voice, and he would like stutter, and it was it was actually creepy. This first thing popped up on my radar. It actually came up in this like media aggregate that I was looking at. It was just like a little, like 2-sentence blurb about this signal hijacking, and it left me with so many questions. And of course, the media aggregate sent me to the Wikipedia page, and then I could follow all the rabbit holes. And when I read the Wikipedia page, I was laying in bed, half naked, cock out, reading this thing. And once I was done reading it,
hang on. When you were Winnie the Pooh in it in bed, t-shirt on, dick out? That's what bedtime is?
Why?
Yeah. That's how I sleep.
Oh my
Zach,
God.
Because my titties get cold.
It's because you have all that extra skin on your penis from being uncircumcised. This is
exactly. It's actually, there's some utility to all this extra skin down there, fellas.
Just a quick consensus here. What is sleeping for you guys? Are you guys underwear? Do you have to be clothed?
I close my eyes, I lay my head back, I pretend to be asleep, and then eventually I am asleep.
Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah, wild.
I just assume it's this thing that happens at night, and I've been up since birth. My eyes are off of my body now. So.
Time of day does not matter.
Yeah.
I do most of my sleeping at work. Also with no pants on. But KY's right, dude. I sleep Winnie the Pooh all the way.
Okay.
It's weird. And to make matters worse, I have a red shirt. It's like my work shirt. I sleep in it.
Thank you, Justin, because that's what I was asking, KY. Sarcastic. So sarcastic. Everyone's a comedian.
I also sleep with a jar of honey next to me.
Now that based on your blood sugar levels, I do believe. Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to fucking say, KY.
No, you're not a thick boy. You're a strong, stout man, barrel-chested, wide in the shoulder, short in the leg.
Everyone can tell you're being a dick right now.
It's like, even though some of those are compliments, it's all condescending.
Yeah, you're like, I'm no stranger to KY's bullshit, that's for sure.
Some people believe it for like a second.
Max Headroom, I can't remember where we left off. So I'll talk about Max Headroom first, just so we know who he is. We mentioned he was a TV personality. He hosted for MTV in the UK, I think, first. He was meant to break up music videos. So they would show him, and he would just talk about shit. Kind of like us, but not funny. We're funny. They designed him to be like the arrogant, pompous American materialistic type talking head that was like the rage back in the 80s. And he was supposed to satirize American materialism, which is the thing that fucking foreigners love to like pick on, I guess. Fuck you. Sorry for being successful.
This was, as you said, 80s, height of the Reagan era.
Right.
It's very popular. Yeah.
God bless him.
That stereotype.
Yeah. Ironically enough, Max Headroom became so fucking popular in the United States that Coca-Cola signed him as the spokesperson.
Get out.
Yeah.
Really?
So he became the very thing that he was supposed to satirize to begin with.
So he went from, Coca-Cola, I don't know all the jumps, but they went from Max Headroom, who, again, Johnny Bravo, Doom, all this other crazy nasty shit, doing the fake stuttering and all this other stuff, to the twinkly little polar bears who sell their drinks?
Yeah, so well, not really that. So the video I saw, what I did the research was Pepsi became very, very popular in the 80s because they were doing the Pepsi taste test commercials, where Pepsi, they would you drink a Pepsi and you drink a Coke, you're like, which one tastes better to you?
That's where that challenge started.
Oh, the Pepsi. And that marketing campaign was extremely successful for Pepsi, and they got huge. And Coca-Cola started losing a lot of business to Pepsi. And they're the same fucking thing. Whatever. I don't know how many like copyright infringements we're encroaching on at this point. I prefer Coke myself, Coca-Cola. You're bigger than Pepsi. Hi. But,
I like Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pibb.
The truth.
Have you guys ever had Surge? It's super good. It's still at Chuck E. Cheese's.
With a mustache like that, I bet you spend a lot of time at Chuck E. Cheese.
Do spend a lot of time there with my mustache. So
That's
Beautiful kids.
looking at the kids. Mm.
No touching though. No touching.
At least not the kids.
Just thinking. Just thinking.
It's somehow worse.
All right, so we're gonna blow right past this topic because this is gonna.
Let's just jump right past it.
Yeah. Okay, so the commercial I saw of the Max Headroom Coca-Cola commercial was it was this kid who wants to hang out with like the cool kids, like, get out of here, nerd. And then he like goes away all sad, and then he finds a TV with Max Headroom's face on it, so he straps it to his bike, and he like rides the bike like in their hangout. It's Max Headroom, and Max Headroom's like, catch the wave, which was the fucking Coca-Cola slogan at the time, and all the older kids were like, fucking sweet, man, you can hang out with us now, little bro.
All of these commercials, everything Max Headroom has done, I believe, is still on YouTube. If anyone has any doubt on any of this, it's still out there. It's up there with like what was the little dog for RCA TV? And he also did do you know what I'm talking about? He was the little bull terrier. He did
Buds McKenzie.
yeah,
The original party animal.
Thank you.
I thought you meant the little robot dog who did flips, and I was like, Ryan, it's the toy. It doesn't have like a name. It's not just one. It's many. It is ethereal, like Jesus or Wikipedia. Again, our Lord and Savior.
Okay, so that's Max Headroom, and there's actually like a really big backstory to Max Headroom, which is kind of funny in its like its own right. Like Max Headroom could be a topic on the show himself. But I think we'll skip it for now. If we want to go down that rabbit hole, if we have enough time at the end, we can do that. So the meat of this thing, when I first read the like 2-sentence thing on this media aggregate, it directed me to the Wikipedia page, and I read the entire Wikipedia page. And when I ended off, like I said, I was laughing naked in my bed and half naked. And it also Wikipedia has the media of these signal intrusions on them. And they're actually like kind of unsettling. It's a lot funnier to talk about than it is to actually watch. Because when you get done watching it, you're just like, oh no, that was wrong. And now I know why the media syndicates at the time threw such a big fit about this. Okay, so the first intrusion happened in Chicago at about 9 p.m. during WGN's broadcast of a sports program. It's like a sports like Sports Center almost, but not. So they're talking about the Bears, Kyle. Still butthurt that you've left Detroit for the Bears.
I mean, now I've left basically every professional sport, so there's that.
No, that's true. You're in Maine. You have nothing.
Hey, we got the Pats in the fucking socks, all right? We'll come to your house, and I'll shave your fucking dog, all right? That's what we do.
Anyways, at 9 p.m. on WGN's news broadcast, the signal gets interrupted. The signal fades out, like the white fuzzies, and then all of a sudden there's this image of a guy wearing a Max Headroom mask with sunglasses. And it's 25 seconds. And in the background, there's this corrugated steel board that's just shifting from side to side that's supposed to mimic Max Headroom's geometric background on his show. But all it is just Max Headroom sitting there staring dead ass into the camera for 25 seconds.
Nothing happens?
Doesn't say a fucking word, but it's unsettling to just watch him sit because he's smiling with his teeth out, and it's just eerie. So 25 seconds is just that. And he's kind of like shifting back and forth a little bit in like a really creepy way. And then it fades back out into the news broadcast. And the broadcaster was like, if you're wondering what that was, so are we. And then he just
I mean, how do you just pivot from that as a like news professional of, hey, so That was weirdly unplanned. I hope.
Anyways, the Cubs. Let's talk about where do you go?
The Bears.
Yeah, but no one had any idea. Like none of the TV channel's engineers had any idea what was happening, and it happened so quickly that they couldn't react to it anyway. So it was like, all right, and they weren't sure what it was. Now there were several other media intrusions in the time in the 80s. That it was kind of a big thing. I don't mean several other. I mean there's like 10 of them, right, around the world. Okay, not just in America. So there was rare, especially for like a local. The Chicago station was pretty big, so a lot of people saw that. Well, so the first one was weird and unsettling, right? The second one is fucking batshit crazy. So 2 hours later, on a different channel, WTTN, during a showing of Doctor Who on a PBS affiliate. So everyone, like Doctor Who was a huge show back in the 80s. So a ton of people were watching this. And the reason that we have this footage today is because so many people were recording at the time that there's like so many different versions of this thing out at different qualities of recording because they were recording the show. So 2 hours after the first intrusion, this next one happens. Doctor Who's playing. It fades in with like the crackly, fuzzy white shit. And then up pops Max Headroom's dumbass fucking face again. And he's staring into the camera again, but this time there's audio. But he's using a voice modulator. So it just sounds fucking creepy. So the first thing he says is, "Hey, I'm better at this than Mark Swirsky. Fucking liberal." Just like that. Chuck Swirsky, sorry. Chuck Swirsky was the guy hosting the first intrusion. He was the guy who said, "If you're wondering what that was, so are we." Just such a really, like, I don't know if he's cool for saving it that way or just douchey for saving it that way.
No, like that's fucking nutty though. That that means that he obviously he either knew exactly what he was doing or what channel and what broadcast he was doing it from, and was like, fuck this guy in particular, or at minimum he knew where he had gotten into, and then was able to react to it in his next intrusion. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's really. So, do you have a motive at that point? No, I think you're just doing this because I don't know. You
watching the world.
You want people to see you as Max Headroom being a total fucking creep.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first thing he does, and because he made that comment, a lot of people thought that this was someone involved in in WGN's newscast.
Yeah.
Situation, right? But then he just goes it gets progressively more fucked up as it goes along. So the second intrusion lasts 90 seconds, and the whole 90 seconds it's getting worse and worse. So the first time he's just like, Chuck Swirsky, fucking liberal.
So I am just curious, personal opinion, guys, as you continue to do intrusions, would you have taken your dick out at some point? If you were in the shoes of the individual as Max Headroom, first showing, you just sitting there. Second one, obviously commenting on the guy and yelling fucking liberals. Would the third one have been just you as Max Headroom, giant dong, hanging out? Maybe half hung. You know what I mean? Would you have to, I don't know. Would you up the ante? Do you up the ante? I immediately thought the next step would be pornographic.
My first step would have been my dick would be wearing the Max Headroom mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that too. I think today the ante would absolutely be you have to show up, basically shout something extremely pornographic, right? Or just have porno on screen. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it would have flown then.
That's exactly what Zoom bombing is, though.
Yeah.
You could have all the Zoom bombing. But I think as a performer, you've got to continually up the ante, right? If this guy's doing it for attention, he's getting his sort of confidence nut, And then he's like, you know what? I made everybody feel super strange. And I made that Chuck guy probably piss his little panties. And that's funny. Like, you've got to take it to 11 the next time you come on.
You also have the like amateur version of this, which is like guys going up to like the on the street reporters and just yelling "fuck her right in the pussy."
Yeah,
they run off.
and then run off. Yeah,
This Max Headroom signal intrusion guy really set the bar for being fucking creepy on camera.
I mean, I think Connor's totally right, though. God, that's such a good point that, like, anybody can do it if you catch a live news report going at the time and just scream something insane or do something stupid in the background. But you kind of make a highlight reel, whereas this guy was, like, fucking full takeover of the signal. Like, that's nuts. Like, he went from, like, amateur, here's fucking professional. Now I'm doing this thing.
Yeah, well, the second intrusion so second by second it got progressively more fucking insane. So the first thing he says is that, right? And then the next thing he says, I've created a masterpiece for the world's greatest newspaper nerds. So the original intrusion took place on WGN's network. WGN stands for the world's greatest newspaper. Yeah. So he's already giving shout outs to the first intrusion. So he's kind of like highlighting himself. It's almost like hashtagging his first big break.
Yeah. He is an innovator. I'll give him that. Yeah.
Now, if all this isn't nutty enough, here's the next thing he does. He picks up a empty Pepsi can and he says, "Catch the wave," and he throws it at the camera, which is, of course, a shout out to Max Headroom being the spokesperson who coined "catch the phrase" for Coca-Cola.
Absolutely crazy. I do wonder, back to your previous point, is this pejorative against nerds? You know, because he said newspaper nerds, and I wear glasses. You know, I've read a book. I'm literate. Am I targeted by this? You know what I mean? Do I have to contact?
And honestly, and Kyle is a giant fucking nerd. I mean, that's what we need to. That's what we need to
I would assume in our own way we all are, glasses or not.
Well, I think specifically Kyle is an oppressed minority here.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah. As a straight white male who's married to a strong female doctor, I often feel oppressed in my daily life. And this is another example.
The thing is, he's opening these books and he's reading them, and that's how I know he's a giant fucking nerd all the time.
I'll have you know, at a 5th grade level, gentlemen, all right, I am exceeding. Take that, 4th grade. Take that, Miss Peevers. Stick that in your pussy and smoke it. You know?
You know what's funny? I remember Miss Beavers. She was like 98 when she was the 2nd grade teacher. I don't know how old that is now because I barely graduated, but I'd still do her.
I'd still do her.
And that's how you know how big of a nerd Kyle is, because he remembers her.
I remember her because she locked you in the closet.
Oh.
I don't want to talk about that.
Because that quite literally did happen. But, you know, there was a bit of tumult in the Justin household growing up, and I think that was coming out in the classroom. And Miss Peevers decided that the best course of action would be to lock an already isolated child in a closet because she's a professional, just like Max Headroom, just like this guy.
Yeah. Now I sleep with no pants on next to a fucking jar of honey.
Thank you, Miss Peevers. Sleep soundly, you rotten bitch. There you go.
She's probably been dead for a decade.
Yeah, I guarantee she has.
So he throws this thing away. He says, "Catch the wave," in that stupid fucking voice he has. And then he flips the camera off. And this is like a stroke of fucking artistic genius. Because as he brings his hand up from the bottom of the frame, sticking on his middle finger is a motherfucking dildo. Genius.
Oh, okay. I knew it was going to come up. I knew this was going to get into some sex stuff at some point. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. You don't waste that camera time.
And this guy had fucking mad props. This dildo was fucking sick. Pink little dildo over his middle finger coming up from the bottom of the frame. It's almost like a shark, like Jaws coming up out of the water, chasing you down to fuck you in a submission.
I can't stop thinking about like, can you imagine like the family of 4 that has like kids in front of the TV and they're like, oh man, what's going on? And like the Pepsi can thing happens and he calls him a fucking liberal. You're like, man, this is so strange. This is so weird. and then just that middle finger with a dick comes up on it, and you're like, Susie, no!
Yeah.
you can't unring the middle finger with a dildo on it with Max Headroom taking over a channel. Like, what the fuck? That's with her forever now.
Yeah.
So there were so many. There's so much media coverage of this thing after it happened, but like in the 80s, no one knew how to say dildo on the air, so they just referred to it as a marital aid.
Wow.
Now I feel like dildo is daytime TV. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Dildo is Wendy Williams, you know what I mean? She's got a dildo.
Exactly.
But
We're saying it on the doctors over here. Yeah.
87, they're not rocking dildos. It's marital
No.
AIDS. It's
No.
women's problems. They can't embrace the vagina apparently at that point.
No.
And so the Wikipedia page actually was like, he flips off the camera with a hollowed out dildo. And that, when I read that part, I was like, we got a fucking keeper here, guys.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's worse though, somehow.
Of course.
He goes on, so what he does next is kind of strange. It makes you like question this dude's sanity. It makes you question, like, he comes off as a little bit autistic, which, and I'm not knocking autistic people, because the reason I say this is because it's going to come up later on in the conversation. So he goes, oh, and he like goes down out of the frame, and he comes back up with a glove, and he puts the glove on, and he goes, my brother's wearing the other one. This one's dirty. And he takes it and throws it away. All the research I've done, I have no fucking clue what the fuck he means by that.
Oh my God, that's so uncomfortable.
It's really strange.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy. And then
He's an artist. He's
he's brilliant. He's either a fucking madman or a genius, and I'm not sure which one he is.
Oftentimes synonymous.
Yes.
They're oftentimes synonymous.
It could also be just like some dumbass joke, and he wants to impress his friends.
Yeah.
Right, and actually,
That's some inside joke he has with all his buddies.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, I'm on TV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this joke we always do.
yeah, what a shitty fucking inside joke that'd be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then that's to that point, that's like flexing in front of your friends. Like, I will go on TV in the Max Headroom mask. Just watch. I'm a bigger nerd than you guys. And then in which case, he's the king of nerds with a dildo on his finger. You know what I mean?
There is no other way to become the king of nerds except with a handful of dildos. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm a nerd. I also got dildos. Here we go.
Here we go.
Well, you can tell Kyle's nerdisms based on his collection of dildos he has.
Mm-hmm.
They are
That's how you
many.
call a nerd.
They are varied. And I will tell you, much like people, I have every color of the rainbow.
Kyle has the Village People collection of dildos.
Exactly. His dildos are hands across America over here, apparently.
That's right. We Are the World sings as I open my chest full of dildos.
He has one labeled the Bono that takes a lead at some point. Yeah.
He just always comes to the forefront, you know, and it's not ego. It's just that he has to, you know.
He has to be up.
It's that
up
power.
front.
It's the X factor. It could be the clit stimulating hook on it, but you know, whatever.
Well, Kyle, it sounds like you have a wealth of marital aids.
I still love that. Hands down, that actually might be my favorite part. That no one can play fucking dildos or like even sex toy could make it on the air.
Yeah.
It's a marital aid.
What do you,
Like,
yeah.
I just imagine Dan Rather standing there with his comb over, fumbling through the word dildo. He's like, dildo? Am I supposed to say dildo in the air? No, marital aid. I'm writing it in.
No, what does the group study say on dildo? Do we say dildo? Is it daldo? How do you say it? Is it Dido, the artist? How do you say it?
Damn it, we can't say dildo. This isn't Nightline, for goodness sakes.
We've got some scruples, damn it.
This isn't Cinemax after 10. Do you guys remember beating off the Cinemax porn after 10? I do.
Without question, yeah.
I remember being off to Good Housekeeping ads. That's how desperate it was.
Whoa.
I successfully masturbated to The View.
That's an accomplishment. So which one did it? Which one pushed you over, though?
It was yesterday, and it was Whoopi.
Dude, you got to talk to somebody. Whoopi's basically a guy, and I love her. And I honestly, she's super funny. She was great in the '80s. She's great now. She's always been like, women just do all that shit, but not a sexual creature at all, in the least.
I just imagined her from the movie Ghost.
That's not better. That's obviously not better.
Okay, where we leave off with the video? We got a little bit.
So the middle finger dildo, and then the weird glove joke thing that.
Yeah. So the glove joke didn't really do it for me. So he goes, this one's dirty. Oh. And then he takes the glove off and tosses it away. But when he tosses it away, he goes off screen, and then he comes back on screen. And it's almost like you can see in his mind that he's ran out of material at this point.
What's the time? What's the time on this now? Because if the first one was 25, the second one was 90. This has to have been over 3 minutes, right? 3-4 minutes.
Well, it was actually 90 seconds.
Oh, this whole thing was 90 seconds.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Okay.
Okay. But like 90 seconds for doing a bunch of weird shit, for holding up dildos and like making weird comments. That's just a long time.
That's an
so
eternity,
all those poor fuckers sitting at home in Chicago watching Doctor Who are just like,
yeah,
I don't get it. You know.
Where's the telephone booth?
Yes. They're not time traveling. That's a dildo. Oh.
Is that?
I should have done more research on Doctor Who because I don't have any fucking jokes for that, by the way.
All I know is that stupid. All I know is the telephone booth. I'm not saying it's stupid. People are big fans of it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't get it.
I used to work at a very popular bookstore. I'm not going to say the name. Maybe it was Narns and Boble. But
yes,
we sold a ton of that fucking shit for Doctor Who, to the point where people were asking for stuff, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You need to find a different clerk right now. I'm about to just go out.
And Ryan never blinked during those interactions.
No. I haven't blinked since '92. You kidding me? Get out of here.
Well, you haven't slept since birth, so you're.
So that's 5 years before. Yeah.
Look at it, Ryan's like staring at a snake.
Full reptile.
If I ever saw a snake with that mustache.
He's my child. Yeah.
that's how we'll know.
Okay. Our guy, he throws the glove off. He goes, oh. And then he goes off the camera. He's mumbling something, right? And even when you watch all the videos, different people have written different things. They're confused at what's going on. Like the more legitimate ones, like inaudible mumbling. Other people have like weird shit that they said that he said, but the inaudible mumbling is like the best one. So he comes back up on screen, and he's been like moving around and swaying and dancing in like a really weird way the entire time. And he comes back on screen, and he just stops dead, stares dead ass in the camera, and you can see like the wheels turning in this motherfucker's head, right? So then he starts humming a song, and I didn't recognize the song offhand. I had to like do research into what the fuck it was. So he's actually humming the theme song to a 1950s cartoon called Clutch Cargo. A little bit of backstory on Clutch Cargo. Clutch Cargo is a fucking weird ass cartoon. If you've ever fucking seen it, it's like clearly, like if this dude he did this in '87. Maybe he was a child in the '50s, and that's why he's all fucked up now.
Sorry, I just got that late. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. So he Clutch Cargo. So what they did was they would draw these cartoons, usually stationary, like not moving a whole lot, moving a little bit, but instead of like animating the mouths moving, they would just superimpose someone's mouth onto the cartoon.
Oh.
It was the same pioneering technique that the Tiger King used when he had his shout out. Hey, Carol, it's a voice from your past. It's the same deal.
God.
So he hums.
That's a bold method to. I mean, even at the outset, they were like, you know what? Disney has done a frame by frame cartoon drawing. We could do this.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what would be easier? Do 5 drawings and we'll just put somebody's fucking mouth on it. And then that's it.
Right. Just put. How do you decide on the mouth? You have a nice looking mouth. You're going to be the mouth. You're going to be one of the mouths. That's what we got.
Come here. Closer.
Come here.
Kiss me.
Let me see your lips. Let me see your lips. Okay. You're on camera. You're going to get on camera.
Now whisper something. Kiss me. Stop.
Exactly.
Sir, can you put your mouth on this for me, please? No, it's a marital aid. Okay, it's not my penis.
The marital aid.
I want you to look like you're whistling
all the time. This is the pink one. You got the pink one. This is a good one.
I want you to look like you're whistling and now look like you're mouthing an entire sausage at the same time. Do them both, please. Yeah.
I would like to back up. KY said that his pink dildo was the good dildo. Why is that, you racist son of a bitch?
It's only due to the ribs for my pleasure. And I would care. I would like to have some space on that. That's my choice. That's my body.
That's true. It is your body. It is your choice.
As Rylan lightly fingers his mustache, she says, "Your body, your choice," and it's so
unsettling. Your body. It is your choice.
I know. I wish people listening to this podcast could see the video that we're also making at the same time of Ryan just sensually stroking his mustache.
It's your choice.
And then when he smiles, he becomes lipless, like every white person has ever.
I know. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, the mustache is it's as thick as the hair on my head. It's Wooly Willy style. So it's prickly. It's a little prickly.
Do you think it's as thick as the hair on Sean's lower back?
Yes.
Shaved.
The shaved hair.
Shaved. That's right. He shaved it. Yeah.
I will show you guys. You've already seen me show you once. I'll show you again, but this time it'll be smooth, bare baby back.
You're getting a little cold because the hair's gone.
I mean, yes, but I kept it on the front. You know, I still got the full. It keeps me warm in the summertime because this is fucking California. This is all year, all day, every day. I'm almost sweating right now.
Yeah,
and I'm wearing gym shorts.
What's the temperature out there right now? What are you at?
I believe we're probably at like 65 right now.
Okay, that's definitely sweat worthy. Yeah.
That's it.
Sean, I don't know if you know this. Ryan's got a graph on his wall that just shows it's a sweat-worthy graph as it goes up. Just
it's pillars. It's pillars. 50. You should not try to sweat. You should do your best to not sweat. 50. That's what I do. I just open the windows, pull my pants down, twiddle my mustache, and let the wind take my dick, cool me off.
I do notice, like, every time we have a video conference with Sean, he's wearing that shitty high school.
This different shirt. Thank you.
That's what I'm getting at that. I'm going to give you props here. Normally, you're wearing that shitty ass high school shirt with the sleeves cut off and your nipples hanging out. But this time, because you've shaved your back, you have a long sleeve shirt on.
You stay away from me, all right? These are my secrets that I'm keeping. You stop sleuthing my life, all right? You stay away from that.
So homeboy, what'd he do? He just what was the last thing I said? The glove.
The glove. He threw it off, and then he just stared, and he was
clutch cargo.
Yeah, it's humming clutch cargo.
All right, so clutch cargo. I already told you about the weird ass cartoon it was and how they animated it. But they would also do like another weird thing with it. So the very first episode, I think it takes place on like this like random shitty small like prop plane airport, and they show this like actual live footage of a windsock blowing in the wind for like a solid 30 seconds. So that's the very first episode.
You know it's going to be good.
You only go from there. Yeah.
So you know that this show had rotted this motherfucker's mind, right? So he hums the entire opening score of Clutch Cargo, and when he's done, he goes, "I stole CBS." Really weird.
No, he just said that with no. I mean, because he went to WGN and he's not on CBS at this time, right?
No, not that I know of. And I'd have to do some research because like the whole like WGN, and now he's hijacked WTTW, which is a different channel entirely. It's a TBS affiliate. So like the entire way that like radio stations are set up and TV stations are set up are with these letters WTTN, or WGN, which are the two stations he interrupted. Fun fact, anything on the east side of the Mississippi starts with a W. Anything on the west side of the Mississippi starts with a K. Fun fact, doesn't mean anything. Just something to think on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, here's a fun fact. KACL is Fraser Crane's radio show. That's a radio program he's on.
That one's out of LA, right?
No, that one's out of Seattle.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, right. But like, no, it's totally right. West Coast. And then he mentions other radio stations on that show because I'm a huge fan of Frasier because I'm a fucking nerd. And they all start with K. Yeah, that's fucking true, man.
Well, let me test your nerd knowledge, KY. Fraser Crane is a character from which original TV show?
Come on, Cheers. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. All right, fine. All right. So I ran across that on Trivial Pursuit the other day. I got my ass whooped in it, by the way. I learned something.
Yeah, it is still, Fraser Crane is still the most successful spinoff of all time.
Yeah, because like most people don't even know that it's a spinoff.
Exactly, because the generation that sort of missed out on Cheers, this is totally fucking boring. That missed out on Cheers is they picked up Frasier, but it's such a different kind of show. It's in a different city. He has like some ties and a couple of like visits from Norm from Cheers, and he goes back once and all this other shit. So yeah.
I was gonna say like Norm was such a more interesting character. They picked like the most boring dude in that bar to make a spin-off of.
I know, but it panned out. I'm telling you, I love the show. I fucking cry laughing at that show all the time. It's so good.
Kelsey Grammer is like kind of a deadpan humor kind of dude that any nerd like KY would love, which is why you're an oppressed minority.
What was the English gal? She was a maid.
Daphne Moon.
Yeah, definitely put hand to meat to her once or twice. Absolutely.
So, Big Cat, you would put hand to meat.
And meat. There's this. So I just want to walk you through it. In masturbation, you take your hand, okay, and then it's just kind of highly aggressive rubbing.
Angry.
Of the. Get this now. This is the scientific word. Dick.
Now, I think I've heard that I've read that in a book. I have read that in a book. Yeah.
I know. Well, because I happen to be a nerd too, and I have read books where they talk about anatomy. For example, a woman has a pussy. So
there you go. Yep.
Mouse boy, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's pussy. Yo, get it right.
Now, I'm pretty sure I read that in, and this is a great piece of literature, 50 Shades of Grey. You guys have got to read this book. Yeah, absolutely. It's
a classic.
Very intellectual,
it's very highbrow stuff.
Of knowledge in there, absolutely.
It's that was a piece of our time. Yeah.
That was originally a William Faulkner novel, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think so. It's an adaptation, 100%. Guys are good. I'm not the only nerd here. You guys are giving yourselves away. You sons of
I noticed there's a few nerds on here, so let's talk about Dostoevsky, if we can.
All right, let's bring it back.
Well, it's crazy that that's such a deep nerd reference that we all laugh to it. So we're all the oppressed minority.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Clutch Cargo.
So he goes to the entire theme song. The first episode was the windsock.
It sounds so dirty when you say it like that.
The first episode was the windsock.
And I got to be honest, that windsock looks like one of my socks. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw the first episode of Clutch Cargo with the windsock. I put hand to meat to that. You know what I mean? powered through it.
Power through it.
It was aggressive.
You gotta just fire. You gotta fire it off. Boom. Done.
Really.
It was the superimposed mouths over the cartoons. It's actually, some people claim it's the first anime porno.
Jesus Christ. I'm not going to speak ill of the Japanese, but I would bet that anime already existed at that point. I'm just
Look.
As
As someone who lived in Japan, I will speak ill of the Japanese. Okay, I've seen some weird shit over there.
yeah, exactly. In the 50s, those guys were jacking off to cartoons. No question.
Oh, for sure. They had some classic cartoons though.
I wonder, I do wonder. You hear about people who have a thing for anime and for beating off, and I wonder if at some point they just can't have regular sex anymore because you'll be having sex with a human being. And it's like it's just not the same.
Well, you know what? Because your dick's not a tentacle, and
Where are the tentacles? Where are the tails? Where are they at? Where are the ears?
Right. And you know what? So we've broached the topic a little bit. I've actually been to prison, okay? So I've been to prison with dudes who were in there for like collecting child porn. And all of those guys had an addiction to anime. Now, let me just back up, okay? Not everyone that watches anime consumes child porn, but everyone that consumes child porn definitely watches anime.
Hands down. I believe that. I understand this anecdotal. I 100% believe that's fucking true.
Yeah.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single fucking, they had like little anime parties. They'd sit around in the prison like yard and they'd read anime to each other. It's like, those of us who were convicted of manly crimes are like working out. Like, look at the fucking nerds over there. Okay, all right, sorry. Okay, so we're getting close to ending this 90-second tirade of Max Headroom intrusion. So after he sings the Clutch Cargo theme song, I think he goes in like this weird like oh thing again, and he kind of like mumbles, goes off camera, comes back up, kind of awkward, and then the camera goes black. It's just fucking black, totally black. And then when it comes back on, it goes black and like kind of like they've changed scenes in a movie, right? Just real quick, just kind of a quick like half-second blip of blackness, then back to video. And this time, as the video comes back up, and I've kind of, by the way, for anyone listening, there's a few details I left out that are just not relevant, or I couldn't think of a joke to go with it. So, but they're just not big relevant.
Respect.
At one point, he screams, "Oh, my files." Don't know what it means. Don't care. It was fucking weird. I'm not going to talk about it. Anyways, so the camera goes black, comes back onto video, and all of a sudden, you see him. He's kind of standing at a weird angle. His back is to the camera, and he's holding up the Max Headroom mask with his hand, and sticking out of the mask is, of course, the dildo from the mouth. The dildo is just protruding out of the mouth like a tongue. A pink marital aid out of this thing.
That's the marital aid, yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what the
You
doctor.
stick all the marital aids in your mouth, please. Yeah.
Right. But as he's standing there holding this dildo and mask up, you can see a woman standing slightly out of frame. You just kind of see like her midsection. You can't see her face. But on the internet, there's a lot of people she's dressed as something, right? And then people are trying to figure out what she's dressed as. Some people say she's dressed as Annie Oakley. Other people say she's dressed as Ma from A Little House on the Prairie, which is even fucking funnier.
Yeah, that's so weird. God. Yeah. So there's like a Western theme to it, kind of, or a prairie, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of. But then, like, if that's odd, and you're not going to believe this next part, it gets even odder, okay? So he holds his mask up, he brings it away, and then you see the back of him, and then he pulls his pants down, right, to expose his ass. Of course, the news anchors the next day was like, a man exposed his buttocks on the internet, or on TV. Internet wasn't a thing till the 90s. The man exposed his buttocks on the TV. So he pulls his pants down and he goes, "Oh, do it."
What?
Oh.
Yeah. And then the woman who's standing slightly out of frame starts spanking him with a fly swatter.
Wow. Oh my. Wow.
Yeah, so and as she's spanking him with a fly swatter with her left hand, she reaches out with her right hand and squeezes his ass. And then the whole fucking thing ends and it goes back to Doctor Who. and it's been 32 years and no one has any idea who the fuck did this.
Oh my God.
Wow.
that
Oh,
is
so it's
insane.
unsolved. So it is completely unsolved.
It's completely unsolved. Now, I would like to give time to talk about this ass swatting, gentlemen.
Obviously, don't knock it till you try it. You know what I mean? I think that needs to be first and foremost.
Hold on, so KY's mic was muted, and I can only imagine he's farting his ass off.
Yeah, I was 100% farting that entire time, just squatting into it. You saw my face. I went to, because we're recording this on Zoom, I went to my Audacity to see how loudly my farts were actually registering because it's picking up on my mic only. There are definitely little blips in the room, even though you guys are still talking. So I'm proud of that. I wanted to know what's wrong with that.
So I do want to say, when I listened to it with my speakers on, there were moments where the bass was just, and I wonder if that was you letting a load up.
I don't know what's happening, but the gift of my destroyed necrotic guts, whatever's happening in here and rotting away and falling out of my butthole, it's happening today, and what a lovely gift it is. I hope to bring more gifts in the future.
Now, imagine if KY was this man in the Max Headroom mask getting spanked by Annie Oakley, standing slightly off frame with a fly swatter, and he just lets one rip right on camera. What do you think the news anchors would say about that one? Fart or flatulence?
Flatulence. Yeah,
There'd definitely be flatulence. They could say like adult noises, or how else would they make it PG?
Digestive gases.
An erotic scene on the television where a man showing his buttocks and flatulating had a strange Annie Oakley figure swatting his bottom with a fly swatter.
That was a really good Dan Rather, actually.
That was really good. That was really good.
I don't know why you saved that until now. Like, why'd you wait so long after we mentioned Dan Rather? I did a weird, fucked up Dan Rather earlier.
We all have to show our gifts at different times, you know.
You know, Dan Rather caught a version of this, and he put hand and meat on that ass spanking.
Oh, definitely. I was about to say, so many people put hand and meat on that 90 seconds. They're like, what is this? This is so weird. Here we go. And just fucking knock it to the moon. You know that.
I wasn't expecting this. Yeah.
I thought I was watching a program about the Bears, but this is better. Hand to meat, here we go. Rocket. Just
think about beating off to the Bears, then beating off to Doctor Who, then all of a sudden, if you're just like a gay dude in the 80s, and all of a sudden you get this unsolicited butt in your face, fuck yeah, I'm dropping everything I'm doing, and I'm putting hand to meat, as Ryan would say.
This guy's out here looking for the TARDIS. There's a nerd reference, because that's what the little phone booth was called. And he suddenly gets a show with the man getting his backside swatted.
Now I have a question, and I think it's important to bring this up. When he screams, "Do it, do it, do it!" Firstly, that is so unsettling to me. It's incredibly unsettling to me. I can't tell you. I want to watch the video. I legitimately haven't, and I don't think I will, because I think that the sound of him saying that, is gonna just live in my mind forever.
Yeah.
Well, not only is he saying "do it" in a weird voice, but he's also using a voice modulator, so it makes it even fucking weirder.
Well, so the other part that bothers me is that he obviously isn't a fan. And there's assumptions in here, but he's not a fan of ass slapping because he's got just a fly swatter. It's not like a flogging thing. It's not an actual ass paddle. This guy found something and was like, they cut, and in the fucking half second, he was like, hey, grab that fucking fly swatter, and then he came back on the camera. And he had to give her the cue to do it, and she was like, slap, slap. And she was like, oh.
Antiope, get the fucking fly swatter.
Antiope, get that fucking fly swatter. And then he, she was like, I don't know if he actually likes this or not. I'll grab his ass to make him feel better about it. It's like, that's not practice. He's a fucking poser with his BDSM. I want to see some blood. That's how you know it's real.
Yeah.
I want to see like the nice. This probably like exposes way too much about the fucking porn I've been watching. I want to see like the nice.
The Whoopi Goldberg exposed way too much about the porn you were into. What were you gonna say? I apologize for interrupting.
I don't remember anymore. I got distracted by thinking about Whoopi Goldberg's chocolate ditties in my face.